Hello and welcome to the Yogi's Pod. My name is Dharmitra. So this video is in continuation from the Yogic Step 1. Make sure you see that first because this may not make a lot of sense to you otherwise. So a month or two goes by after my inner engineering with Sadhguru and the subsequent talk with Swami. And it's all that I have on my mind. I have always wanted this, and here I am in direct contact with the source. And not just any source. Sadhguru is considered to be the upper echelon of spirituality by anyone and everyone who has anything to do with spirituality. How do I know this? It's because I've had the fortune of knowing a few revered saints and sages who stay out of the public eye. They are of many kinds. Some may actually live a life of seclusion and not take part in society at all. And some take part in an as-per-need basis. Meaning they have regular corporate jobs, they may be doctors and own businesses, and pretty much anything really. Their identities I will never reveal because they have made a conscious decision to keep their spiritual side private, and we will respect that. But it actually doesn't take much intelligence to see why they do it this way, if you think about it, since you can see how people who speak the truth have been and are treated in the world. Why would anyone want to take that hassle? So anyway, these people I'm talking about always speak very highly of Sadhguru, is what I wanted to say. So at this point, I'm just beyond happy having discovered this, and what I'm going to say to you next must not be interpreted in the wrong way. Because for me, the next step was clear. I quit my job and ditched my plans of doing a master's in an Ivy League college because it made perfect sense for me to do so. But you need to understand why I'm telling you to not take this in the wrong way, because I've had so many young people come to me with the intention of quitting their jobs or dropping out of college to become spiritual, only to have me convince them to do the exact opposite. To do the exact opposite of what I had done, because they were doing it out of a sense of escapism, which just does not work. It will neither give you a so-called spiritual life, and it will also take away the stable foundation you need to have a good life in terms of financial stability and other things that we all need. So I met Swami a few weeks later and he asked me what's up. So I told him, I just quit my job. And he said, no, don't quit your job, don't do this, you don't know what you want, where you want to be. I said, Swami, listen, I have already quit my job and there's nothing we can do about it at this point. He was annoyed slightly, I think, but then I asked him what's next. He said, Bhava Spandana. I said, okay, sign me up. And I did not know what this program was, and I did not speak to anyone about it. I did not Google it. I did not look it up online. I just asked him to sign me up and found out it was actually happening in this kind of a boarding school a little outside of Delhi in the month of May. This is 2013. And so the Bhava Spandana program never happened in Delhi after this, and I don't think it happens anywhere else in India other than the Isha Yoga Center in Coimbatore as of now. So the time comes, and since this is a 4-day residential program, I pack my bags and I leave. And after that, once again, the days go by really quickly. But not in the way like it happened in the inner engineering program. Here, every session and every moment that passed was one of the most intense moments of my life. The processes that were involved would just put you through these states of intense catharsis, emptiness, fullness, and an ecstatic state of abandon. Abandon not in a way that you don't care about anyone or anything else, but a sense of abandon which allows for complete involvement and immersion in this very experience of life. Hope I'm making sense, but one aspect I can articulate about the program is that it provides one a possibility to experience an incredible sense of connection with other human beings. You know how these days we are so used to judging other people constantly. We notice and pay so much attention to things like how people look, how they talk, what clothes they wear, what financial status that shows, etc., etc. And not realizing how superficial and petty all these judgments are. And this is so normalized. But it shouldn't be. Constantly critiquing every human being you lay your eyes on is a very, very limited and constipated way of living. And it was at this program I realized how much of this judging that I was constantly doing. And when your attention is on such superficial levels, you miss the fact that other people are human beings just like you. They have a life in them just like you do. And this hit me like a ton of bricks during the last part of the program. And as I looked at the other participants around me, I could, in a very strange way, see myself in them. And I just flipped out. It was too crazy for me to handle, and I could not snap out of it. It was right there in front of me. I would look at someone's face and couldn't help but see my own self behind their eyes. And after a while, I just got physically and mentally exhausted and tired of freaking out, and kind of just accepted this strange feeling of actually realizing this interconnectedness of all life, which is not limited to human beings, but it extends to animal and plant life as well. Now, I've heard people compare this to their experiences on various psychedelics. But let me tell you, the altered states of psychedelics may give you a profound glimpse at best. But compared to this, it's a pale, pale shadow of the real deal. A real organic spiritual experience is what the Bhava Spandana can offer you. So yeah, you can never be the same after such an experience. It changes you forever. So who do I recommend this program to? I recommend this to anybody who has developed a thick skin and can't feel life anymore. Sorry, I'm being a little direct, but this program is a very strong dose of spirituality, and it can boost your spiritual growth to a great extent if you experience this core and fundamental aspect of life, the interconnectedness that I spoke about, the way you relate to other human beings, because people have these walls around them, and the judgments and all of these things, this is what leads to building up of these walls. But especially for people who are sort of stuck in their own selves, in their own patterns, in a certain mold, if your lifestyle is something which has allowed for this, for you to get stuck in patterns and you're unable to break free from that, I somehow feel that it's kind of a rude awakening. It's a little rough because the program is very intense. It's intense on all levels possible. It's intense on a physical level, mental, emotional, all levels. It sort of puts you through this grind and you come out of this a completely new person. So if you feel that you're kind of stuck like that, then this program is quite a bit of a push forward. Anyways, after you do the inner engineering program, the options which open up for you are the Shunya intensive program and the Bhava Spandana. So between these two, I personally did the Bhava Spandana first, and that is kind of what I recommend people as well. Because the Bhava Spandana program is experiential in nature, you will not learn any particular practice. So that is one thing, it's purely an experience. And it offers this experience of life in a way which is always there right in front of us, but we miss it. And if you have already done this program, don't compare your experience with mine or anyone else's, because that's not what it's about, nor does it work that way. Because I know many people who did not experience anything in the program, and they were quite disappointed about it because they had heard so much and they had built such high expectations in their heads, and in the program itself they did not experience anything. But for many people, I have heard that they experienced a change in their perception after a few months of doing the program even. So I feel it's best not to think along the lines of how big or small your experience is, because experiences may be useful but are not very important on the spiritual path. What's important is how the experience transforms you. Does it make you a better, a more joyful person? Or does it make you sit on this high spiritual horse of having this great big spiritual experience and you look down from there at all the other non-spiritual mortals? Because if it's the latter, you were probably better off without a spiritual experience. So after this program was over, I went to Swami all weepy and just humbled by it all and asked him what's next. He put a paper in front of me and it was a form to become a full-time volunteer. And I just signed it right then and there. and we will continue this on the next video, and I will tell you about my first ever visit to the ashram. And I did the Ishanga Satsang Teachers Training, Shunya Intensive, Samima Silence Program, and attended the Mahashivratri all in one go. So I'll see you in the next one.